Hello everyone, and welcome to our game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Rumpel, and he's in the Kamikaze, a tier 5 Japanese destroyer. He's on the map straight in a 3-point domination game. It's a tier 5 battle, which is pretty amazing. And he has already found his way into a camp and found an enemy Mitsuki. And there's another destroyer with him, so that smoke screen is getting talked like crazy. Looks like the enemy destroyer anticipated that though and is already running away. On the bright side, that gives the friendlies an opportunity to take this cap. Well, might give them an opportunity. Meanwhile, we have no friendly destroyer in A, but the Kamikaze trying to take B. There is an enemy Kamikaze on the way. And there might even be a battleship pushing in there. I mean, I'm not sure if that's a good idea for a Haruna to push a Kamikaze, but you know. The Kamikaze might have some fun with that. Now C is secured and, well, Rumpel is probably... Well, he might try to engage the enemy Kamikaze there. Like, it's not like the Kamikaze is a gunboat, it's not like the Kamikaze is a gunboat. So it might be a bit of an awkward duel, because the reloads are terrible on those low-tier Japanese guns. But there are quite a few friendlies here who might just get in on the fun. Speaking of fun, those troops are going to hit, I suppose. Well, or, okay, one is going to hit. We have two more on the way, so there is some potential for more. And, oh, it looks like the Haruna dodged all of the troops coming for her. That is a shame. Now the Kamikaze seems to be low, and it looks like he's... Did he, like, run out of smoke? You know, when you have a Haruna charging a Kamikaze, my money would have been on the Kamikaze, but it looks like that was not the case. So... okay. The friendlies have basically abandoned the north, but they have a strong force here in the south, so they should easily be able to clear up a few ships and then maybe move on to the center. He is still contested, and Rumpel here is in a good position to stop them from taking it, although he has to be careful that he isn't going to fall prey to this Haruna, I suppose. I mean, he has his smoke ready. It's more like if an enemy destroyer spots him, right, and that battleship gets... and there is the Kamikaze. So this might just turn it into a torpedo duel. Unfortunately, the Kamikaze has the perfect angle to launch torpedoes, and our Kamikaze does not. And here come the troops, and... easily dodged. Well... now this doesn't look so bad. Well, I mean, there is the Haruna that's fairly close. That's probably going to be shooting here. The Britannia could get in on the fun. There is the Kamikaze, and well, I guess the Kamikaze actually fired her gun. And wait, did the Kamikaze just fire somewhere else? Oh, but the Kamikaze did take out the New York. Well, on the bright side, there goes one enemy destroyer, and Rumpel didn't actually take a lot of damage. I mean, maybe it's down to low tier. Then again, it's not like people are necessarily that great at high tiers. I'm always surprised if you are a destroyer and the destroyer is spotted so close to enemies and they just don't seem to care. Meanwhile, this Kamikaze has decided he's going to hunt down a Kamikaze for whatever reason, and I have a feeling that's not going to... it's probably not going the way that Kamikaze expected it to go. So, Rumpel has the only 2 kills in his team. He also, well, I mean, it's an assisting cap, like he was part of the taking off the C cap, the only cap that the friendlies have. And the friendly team is basically crumbling all around. You know, when I looked earlier and I saw like the friendlies had about twice the amount of ships that the enemy team had there in the south, I was like, yeah, okay, they can like clean up some enemies here, but turns out it's the other way around. There's also a discussion going on in chat, I think, about the amount of guns an Arkansas has. I have to admit I don't actually know, so can't comment on that. Now, meanwhile, the B cap is still, well, open. Nobody has taken it so far. There seems to be a Britannia pushing this way, but, well, Kamikaze versus Britannia, my money is basically on the Kamikaze. Now, of course, if the Britannia just manages to dodge torps very well and stays inside the cap, that might be an issue. But I mean, the Kamikaze has a lot of, well, not a lot of torps, but good reload. So sooner or later that Britannia will just eat some fish if he stays inside his camp. Now on the also other bright side, somebody other than Rumblets actually managed to sink an enemy. Well, two other someones have managed to sink an enemy, so you know, he only has half of the team's kills by now. So maybe there is hope. Maybe, just maybe, the friendly team will launch an epic comeback. It's all going to start with oops into the Britannia. I mean, Britannia is still floating, but on very low health. Maybe somebody else can finish her off. I mean, we have ships around here, although maybe they are more concerned with the other enemies. Like, I mean, in a battleship I might just be focusing down the Mitsuki here, because destroyers are scary. You know, but as I said earlier, Kamikaze's torps reload pretty fast. Torps are ready. Now he has to be careful or he is going to get spotted. He has a smoke screen ready. And what he definitely could do is he could smoke up here and then use his guns and try to burn down the Britannia. But it looks like he decided otherwise. In which case, he really probably shouldn't have gotten this close. But you know, undetected again. Oops, on the way. And maybe he can also just engage this Mutsuki now. There you go. Britannia down. Time to be a gunboat. Shoot down a Mutsuki. Now, of course, there are still other enemy ships around, but they all seem to be pretty far away. Well, except for the Iron Duke, who is, well, focusing down in New York. Focus down might be the wrong. I think it's the Mutsuki that's going to get rid of the New York. Now, on the bright side, that means the Mutsuki's torps are probably on reload. Then again, as I said, low tier torps reload pretty quickly. Mutsuki hasn't realized she has guns yet, so that's... Oh no, oh my god. Japanese destroyer shooting back. What's this? Now, speaking of shooting back, this Iron Duke has probably nothing else to shoot at, so I would expect a salvo coming soon. Smoke's ready though, so Rumble, he slowed down, then he launched his torps. And that was a fairly decent hit there. I mean, he slowed down and then he deployed his smoke screen. And he launched his torps. Now that's a fire, that's good. The enemy is going to damage con immediately because this Iron Duke is on too low health. He can't survive a single fire. Now, it's down to RNG. Can he get another fire? I mean, hopes might also do the trick, I guess. Come on, RNG, we want another fire. But Iron Duke's blind shots missed. Is the Iron Duke healing? That's unfortunate. That's like the opposite of fire in a way. There is the fire. Now the fire has to fight the heal. Now, on the bright side, on a low tier ship, it's a lot less likely that he has a lot of captain skills or flags equipped or so to help reduce fire durations. Which means this fire might just demise here. Well, and a few gunshots. Meanwhile, the Hisokaze managed to... Like, there were only battleships remaining that had no way of really spotting a destroyer. But somehow the Kamikaze managed to get spotted, destroyed. I guess we have a bright side on this. That means Rumpel could get a solo warrior now. And well, okay, the Kamikaze managed to just a flesh wound, but still it would be a solo warrior. All he has to do is sink 3 battleships. I mean, he has about 8 minutes to do so. Now, the enemy team has quite the points lead though, and they have more camps, and he can't currently take another camp because, well, the battleships are blocking it. So, what the enemy team has to do is basically not lose all of the camps while dodging torps. So what they they could try to sail into sea and take C, but honestly, it might have made more sense if they just retreat more towards A. I understand nobody wants to sit idle for 7 minutes, and I mean, sitting still is not an option anyway, but they could just like try to sail like behind somewhere between A and B and wait if they... like if this camp starts being taken and then try to defend or something. Now there are some warp hits into the Pure, but not enough. Also, I'd like to point out that he actually healed in his Kamikaze because he has this special captain and he unleashed a Kraken. That heal might come in handy or might not. I mean, he's up against 3 battleships, right? The only way he's getting spotted is if he makes a mistake, basically. Or if he decides the situation is so desperate that he needs to start open water gunboating. Now, 1 enemy has been taken care of. Still 6 minutes 20 left. And he needs to sink 2 pretty healthy battleships. Now, thankfully, those battleships are coming his way. It's like you can't really torp somebody who is sailing away from you. I mean, you can, but you know, the increase in distance means that the torps will most likely run out before they reach the target, because the torps might be quite a bit faster than a battleship, but not that fast. So if like those enemies were turning around now, it would be probably pretty hard to win this, right? And there is 4 torpedo hits, there is a flooding, of course. He's going to repair the flooding and he's starting to heal. I mean, he was on full health, so obviously he had everything ready. But there are more torps in the water, so what is the enemy going to do? It looks like he is continuing on this. Oh, there is an island in the way. Kamikaze is going to get a solo warrior? Well, possibly. Now he has his smoke ready, so if he gets detected here, he can always use it, and that's what he's going to do. Problem, of course, is then he has no longer spotting, unless the enemy fires the guns. Well, there goes one enemy. So unless the South Carolina fired her guns. Oh, we can see her from smoke. Isn't that lovely? What's the South Carolina going to do? Is he trying to angle against the torps? Is he going to sail away? Or will he just be straight line? We are down to 4 minutes 40, and the enemy team still has the lead. They still have more cap zones. South Carolina, all he has to do is survive. Now, what would be the easiest way for him to survive? Probably going like through here somewhere. I mean, he could also turn like this and sail towards B. I guess the safest path would be through these islands up into the north. And I'm not sure if there would be a way for Rumpel to deal with this. Because, I mean, he can sail into B and flip, but it takes him time to arrive there, then it takes him time to flip this cap, and then he has to, like, overcome the points difference right now. So basically, if this South Carolina went here up north, yeah, that would probably be it. But you know what that South Carolina is instead doing, I think? I think he might just be reversing. I mean, it's one way to get further away, I suppose. He's blind shooting the smoke while slowly reversing. As far as tactics go, it's not necessarily what I expected to happen, but you know, I mean, he could at any point now start going forward again, and then we would have a problem, because, I mean, he can still go forward and then turn away or something. He could still try to angle towards, like, where the torps are coming from. Basically, if your nose is pointed towards the direction where the torps are coming from, you're probably not taking more than 1 or 2. Maybe even 0. Or you could just slowly reverse in a straight line. Yep. That worked out. Yeah, with the results, Rumpel earned himself 3,153 base experience. Keep in mind this is a tier 5 battle, and lower tiers usually means less experience, but you know, over 3,000 base experience. Also achieved a solo warrior, a Kraken, a devastating strike, a Confederate, and a high caliber, scoring 219,000 points of damage and sinking 8 enemies. And I guess, you know, he basically had to do everything himself here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.